Hello everybody and welcome back to Full House Sports here, myself Charlie. Before the video starts, please like, comment and subscribe. Anything you guys do is greatly appreciated as I try and become a one-man sports news bandwagon. Now the third test of the Ashes series is about to begin in Adelaide and it's a must-win for England, there's no doubt about it. If they don't win, simply the Ashes is lost. I think it's fair to say the Ashes is pretty much lost anyway, but it's the hope that kills you. And England have a slither of a chance, although I think it should be said that chance is, as I say, slim. It'll be interesting to see what happens in this test match. I think the omission of Shoaib Bashir is quite a sad and poor reflection on how things are. He is England's no doubt frontline spinner. I know people will talk about Will Jacks, but I still think Bashir was picked with this Ashes series in mind. That's why he's been playing so often. The omission of him from, let's face it, what Adelaide is Australia's most spin-friendly pitch. We saw that with Graham Swan all those years back when England defeated Australia in the Ashes. I think is a reflection on what the England setup thinks of Shoaib Bashir and what they sort of are worried about. And I think, yeah, it's a sad state. I think we've said it a lot about England, that the Lions perhaps has not been serving. Where's the players that are putting pressure on? Well, I think the omission of Bashir is also a case study point to that the Lions haven't been performing great either, and there's very little pressure on this England test side. Another surprising omission perhaps is Gus Atkinson. Now, Atkinson, I think his bowling has been, iffy at times. I know he got a couple of wickets towards the end of the second test, but I think it's fair to say that his bowling has been, as his economy rate is a reflection of that. I also think batting-wise, he's thrown his wicket away quite a lot. Trying to play silly pull shots and trying to whack every ball out of the ground. But Josh Tongue, it's a big occasion for him to come into. Will we see the best of him? Listen, he's got nothing to lose, and I don't think there's much that could be done to make this England attack any worse. So hopefully he does put things together and hopefully he can offer a little bit different. Pat Cummins is back for Australia. That's a scary fact in itself. You have to worry and think, are we potentially in a spot of bother with him coming back? The Aussies feel like they've sort of started at a lower point and they're just getting better and better. And that's quite frightening from an England point of view. A lot's been made about this Noosa trip and trying to take the heads away from cricket. I get it. I get both sides of the story. I think the one side is you can overtrain, you can over prepare. I didn't like the comments from McCullum after the second test regarding that, but I understand it that professional sports people perhaps they want to get their head out of the cricketing bubble and as well fundamentally away from the pressure that comes with being on tour in Australia with the media. I just think it's not a great reflection if England gets stuffed again. People will say, especially the older heads, will say, what on earth were they doing on the beach and why were they so focused on playing golf? It's one of those things. You can't win and you can't lose. I'm not going to be too critical of a beach trip because it's been a long gap between tests. The scheduling's been awful on a side part for these Ashes. I do think Australia will inevitably win this. I think we will be still having the same issues with England unless something drastic turns around. But I think we'll still be saying the same things. I think, unfortunately, we've got a lot of suffering to do as an England fan. And that's quite worrying, to be honest with you. But who knows? We'll have to wait and see. As always, guys, please like, comment and subscribe. Anything you guys do is greatly appreciated. I try and become a one-man sports news bandwagon. As always, have a great day.